everyone, it's Mary, and in this video I will be sharing with you my November TBR. So, I will be participating in Nonfiction November, that is an event that goes throughout the entire month in which you are supposed to read more nonfiction than you normally would. Lately I find myself very interested in nonfiction, and I have so many nonfiction books piled in my wish list, and I can't wait to get to them. Unfortunately, I have not as many on my bookshelves to read. So I decided that I'm going to read mostly nonfiction for the entirety of the month, as the event suggests. And I will be reading only 2 fiction books. One that I'm currently reading and one for a book club that I'm in. So Nonfiction November is hosted by Olive over at A Book Olive and Gemma over at Nonfic Books, and I'm going to leave a link to both channels down below so you can go and check them out. And let's talk about the books that I'm hoping I will be reading. So first, let's get out of the way the books that are not nonfiction. An Uncommon Education by Elizabeth Percer. And I am basically halfway through this one and really enjoying it. I just stopped for the autumn readathon, and then I'm going to resume the reading just because I don't like to have a book on hold for a long time. I'm really hoping to finish this pretty soon. Then I am in the book club Tales & Co. That I'm going to leave a link to down below again. And the pick of the month is The Unit by Swedish author Ninni Holmqvist. This is a dystopian kind of book in which women over 50 and men over 60, I believe, that are not married and do not have children are put into this kind of in fancy apartments in this unit, as the title suggests, and they are labeled as disposable, so they have to prepare themselves to donate all of their organs, and so they arrive at the unit to enjoy their final days. And this is the story of Dorrit, that goes at the unit, but then falls in love. And I think things are going to get pretty much complicated. I don't know about this book. We had to pick between 3 books, and actually this was not the one that I would have picked, but I'm curious to check it out. It's actually very similar to another book that I read and that I enjoyed that I'm not going to mention because I don't want to spoil what happens in the book, because it's not that clear as it is stated in this blurb, basically. But yeah, we'll see what I think of it. Then I am still reading Walden, or Life in Woods by Henry David Thoreau. I talked about this book in my autumn readathon wrap-up. This is a memoir about the author that decides to stop paying taxes and live in the woods for 2 years, and it talks about his reflections on nature, on society, and yeah, I'm really kind of enjoying it. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it, to be honest. I thought it was going to be very boring and dull, but it's actually engaging and kind of funny in ways. I'm hoping to finish this. I'm halfway through, so hopefully I will be able to finish this during this month. Another nonfiction books that I'm reading is Goodnight Stories for Rebel Girls, and this is basically a short story collection about 100 women that really made history, that maybe are still alive or that died ages ago. And I'm really enjoying this book. I think it's a perfect gift for children and adults as well. It's just basically all the stories are 1 page long, and then you have the illustration that was made by a woman. Every illustration is made by a different woman, and I just thought this was a brilliant idea, and I didn't know a lot of the stories that are contained here. I'm sure I will be done with this very soon. I really recommend this book, by the way. So I am in another book club, the Read Around the World book club, hosted by Mel over at Mel's Bookland Adventures, and each month we select a book to read that is from a different country and by a female author. So this month she helpfully selected a nonfiction book to read, since it's Nonfiction November, and it's actually a book that was on my TBR as well, so I'm very happy to be getting to this finally. And it is Chernobyl Prayer by Svetlana Alexievich. She is from Belarus, and this obviously talks about the Chernobyl disaster that happened in the 80s and that affected Belarus really heavily and actually had consequences over other countries as well. I think in Italy we had some small, consequences to it, not of course to the extent of Belarus, but we know what this is all about. It's not something that I was not aware of even growing up, but I really don't know much more than I really just scratched the surface when I was young, so I'm really curious to know more. In this book she collects interviews of people that were affected by this disaster. She also won the Nobel Prize in 2015, and this book is supposed to be very, very good from what I've heard. So a very interesting read. And then I have two more, and I don't know if I'm going to get to them, but I have Iran Awakening by Shirin Ebadi. And didn't hear anyone really talk about this book, but when I was digging into more non-fiction about Iran after reading Persepolis earlier this year, so I was very interested in the story of this nation that I knew nothing about, and I found out this book that is a memoir of Shirin that was a jurist for the Islamic Revolution, and it talks about her childhood in Tehran, and then of course about being a jurist, and actually she was demoted after the Islamic Revolution, so I am very interested to know more about her life and hopefully through her eyes to see the story of her nation as well a little bit better. I only read praise about it, so I am very hopeful, and I hope I'm going to really enjoy this one. And then I have another book in Italian. I mean, this was translated in Italian, and it is Running with Scissors by Augusten Burroughs. I really don't know how to pronounce his name. And yeah, I'm just going to put a picture here of the original English book. But this is a memoir, and I don't know a lot about it. I just know that his family is bonkers, basically, and he grew up in a very, very weird way. His mother is a poet, and I think she's depressed, she takes drugs or something. She basically lives her son to live with this psychiatrist, and yeah, he lives with the doctor's family, and they basically are very weird as well. It's supposed to be a very kind of fun but dark memoir. I heard about it like ages ago when I think I was still at university, and I bought the book, and that is sitting on my shelves now, so it's about time I get to it. This was it for my non-fiction TBR. Let me know if you're participating in non-fiction November, if you read any of the books that I mentioned. Let's chat in the comments, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!